let's bring Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast from the Center for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at Nelson Mandela University to weigh in on these developments. Prof, good afternoon. Thanks for your time on the SABC at this hour.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's get your reaction at this point to the Concord ruling. I mean, there's not 5 days for the ANC to hand over its documents to the Democratic Alliance.
I think the DA must be applauded, in my view, for a good job well done in terms of demanding accountability, because that is the role of the opposition party. So they are within their right to demand for those cadre deployment records. I mean, the issue of cadre deployment was also cited in the Zondo Commission's report as one of the things that have contributed to institutionalization of a corruption. Though my view is that cadre deployment is not a bad thing per se, because politics and administration are like two sides of the same coin. You know, in the US, each and every administration is named after a president, like, you know, the Bush's administration, the Obama's administration, and so on. So there is a symbiotic relationship between the two environments, the political environments, and also the administrative environment. So I don't think that the decisions that were made to deploy people should be hidden, because democracy is about accountability, is about transparency. So I don't think that information must be hidden from the public. But I think the problem in our context is that cadre deployment has been vulgarized. You know, it has been made to lose its meaning, whereby you deploy people willy-nilly. I don't think it is wrong to deploy people at a strategic level, so long as they have the qualifications, they have the experience that is needed. So I think the devil is in the detail here. Seriously, there must be a reason why the ANC is hiding those documents. And I also think that, in my view, I mean, I was shocked, you know, when the president appeared at the Zondo a commission in person and said the minutes of the meetings that took decisions about deployment, they are nowhere to be found.
Well, Prof, thank you for setting that context. You said a lot, and I want to actually delve a little bit deeper. Perhaps on the first point, given the timing of all of this, as it is an election year, what impact do you think this is going to have on the dynamics unfolding? And then also, in the same breath, how is this also going to have an impact on the opposition parties themselves?
Well, it's a blow. It's a blow to the ANC. I think it's a setback. And also, in my view, my reading of the situation is that they come across to be hiding something. There must be a reason why they are refusing to hand over those cadre deployment records. There must be a reason for that. Everything has a reason. But also, I think it will boost the image of the DA. Because, you know, they are the ones who have championed this call for the ANC to lay bare the minutes of the meetings that were held, that made decisions about certain strategic deployments. And some of the people who have been deployed in the public sector in particular, I think, in my view, are not the best cadres. You know, I don't think the ANC deploys people on the basis of their capabilities, or they don't deploy people on merit. You know, they deploy people on the basis of allegiance, alignment, and so on. So it will contribute to the image of the DA in terms of coming across to be this party that is, whether that is correct or not, that is fighting against corruption.
Well, the ANC could also turn around and request cadre deployment documents from the DA or other opposition parties, and that will also unearth dynamics. So there's that question as well. But also just on the issue of you know, how this is going to impact the future of public administration in South Africa's context, given, you know, what has been ruled by the Concord. What is coming to the fore? Because early on you spoke about weaknesses and threats of cadre deployment, but you also alluded to it having some strengths as well.
Yeah, so you're raising two critical issues. The first one is that the ANC can turn around and also demand cadre deployment records of the DA. They are within their right to do that. In fact, the DA also, they do deploy cadres. They do that. For instance, in 2006, when Helen Zille ascended to the position of mayorship in Cape Town, the first thing that she did was to get rid of the municipal manager, because of the connection between the political and the administrative environment. So even the DA does deploy cadres. It's just that they don't call it cadre deployment. But the issue of cadre deployment is an international phenomenon. It's not confined to one party. I think in 2020, there was a legislation which was signed off by the president, encouraging public institutions to be professionalized. So there is that development as well, that a lot of government departments are expected to institutionalize professionalization, even though that is articulated only in theory, not in practice.